I opened up all three of my pictures in Photoshop. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna take we're gonna pick one to be our base layer and pull the other two out. Grab the move tool, pull it over in here, hold shift, and it will drop it in. I can close this file. Grab this one, hold shift with the move tool, drop it in. If the tripod moved at all, you'll see it in between these layers, and we do have a little bit of movement, so I'm going to select all three and go to Edit, Auto Align Layers, and that will automatically stretch them to match. Hit OK. Now when I turn on and off the layers, you only see the movement of the live models. Sound good? And you notice that you do see some perhaps that's being stretched out here, and we'll just have to crop that later. All right, so now that I have all three of those, the easy thing to do, well, the way I usually do this, which I think that Sunny had suggested something else last time, right? But the way I normally do this is I turn off the top layer, I grab the middle layer, I figure out where the original person is going to be in that, and I'll just paint black on the photo where that person is to make them appear. Now, the problem is the dog's moving, so I might get some of the dog when I go down here. No? No? Oop. Where'd it go? I just undid it. Alright. I messed that one up. Here we go. So you can see the rug moved just slightly because of the dog. Or you didn't notice, did you? Alright. Well, if you didn't notice, then I didn't say anything about it. Right? Right? But it looks fine for now. Alright, so now I'm going to turn on the top layer, and I'm going to paint that whole, whoops, make a layer mask, paint black on that whole area again, and now is when we have overlap problems, right? So we might have to lose the dog completely. I don't know. I don't like that idea, but alright, so over here I've got to be careful what I'm doing, and I've got to paint white back in, and I'm going to just trace down the back side of the chair. And what I like to do is if you click and then hold shift, it will connect those points, and I can just kind of trace the back side of the chair here. I don't know if this is going to look like half the leg's missing. And the other problem is the shoe is going to overlap with the leg of the chair, possibly. So I don't know, is the foot going underneath the chair? Is that what we should do? Alright, so I got to make my brush smaller and harder, and then I'm going to trace this to get rid of that kind of halo and continue the shadow. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, we're just going to fill all that in. There we go. I have a little bit of a halo here, so I'll go back in with a harder brush. And I might need to fill in this, huh? Alright, well I did a lousy job there. I'm going to undo that. Make my brush a bit smaller and harder. And then follow this a little bit closer. I might come back and blur the edges of this slightly because I feel like I'm making it a little too hard now. So if you don't have any overlap, this is really easy. Now, if you hit the slash, you'll be able to see in red where you're masking versus where you're not. So I'm going to paint, so it's actually it's the backslash, I should say, right by the bracket keys. And then you can see in red where you have or haven't painted. So that'll make this cleanup work a little bit quicker and easier. All right. Now, that one's in. I still got to get this one. Which I think, yeah, all right. I'm gonna just go crazy with this, painting black over here to get the standing version in. Now you can see that he has a shadow there, so I'm gonna just continue brushing all the way up and down the door here to keep the shadow. And then the problem becomes the dog. Bad dog.
He kept moving.
Bad dog, bad. And I'm going to just kind of brush in the dog's paws. I'm going to soften my brush here. I'm going to brush it in till it's underneath the leg. And then we should be fine. Right? So there we go. We got 1, 2, 3 different people plus the dog all in the same shot. Good? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crop, and I'll just kind of go to the corner that has the biggest issue here and pull it in just slightly and just go around and check the other corners. Here we go. All right, and then from that point I'm going to do my normal editing. So the thing that I'm feeling like we need to do is we need to color balance somewhere in here. So I'm going to grab a gray eyedropper, and I'm thinking the book might be, ooh, nope. Yeah, all right, well, I think that color balance is not that far off from what we had, but let's see. Yeah, takes out a little bit of the yellow. I think I see it more on my screen than up there.
Maybe really risking the computer. Risking the disconnect.
And then I'm going to just brighten it up a little bit. See. Huh. It's hard because, all right, the overall it feels like it needs to go brighter, but the big thing that I'm feeling is that we need to pull out a little detail in the shadows. Say what?
The screen's gonna be too bright. If you guys have-
I don't know what you're talking about. That's perfect. Ish. Nah. So, look at my screen instead of up there. But here's where we were. Here's where we are. Now, his over here, this might be too bright. Right? The right-hand side. So what I could do is I could either mask out one of the curves I put in here, or I could pull another curve and darken down and then only apply it to the right-hand side. This is the gradient, and I could just let me do that again. I want it to be here and not here. Okay. So I don't know, something like that. So here's what I'm doing is just toning down the right-hand side. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Good?
Much better.
All right. So then I'm going to save it. File, save as. I'm going to save my Photoshop version. And then I'm going to save my save a copy as my JPEG version. And bippity boppity bippity boppity boo. I'm done. Questions? I can stop recording. Yes.